Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As always, I've got a bunch of items to show for my pickups. Actually got a lot of Japanese stuff and I've got some American stuff because I actually went back to the States for a little while and got to do some game hunting there. So I'll be showing you a mixture of American and Japanese stuff today. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey guys, so the first thing I want to show you is, I've been wanting an Atari for a long time, so I was finally able to find one of these and pick one up. The Atari 2600, known for bringing the arcade into your living room. This is actually the second model of the Atari 2600. It's been made with lighter materials to help conserve resources and the costs, giving it the nickname Light Sixer. The easiest way to spot the second model is by the more angular design on the front edge to distinguish it from the previous heavier models, and the 6 switches on the front to distinguish it from the later models, which ended up with only 4 switches. After this video, I'm probably going to hook this bad boy up and play one of the most popular selling games on the system, Pac-Man. Also, the controller looks like it got chewed up a little bit, but that's okay. Little teeth marks around here. I don't know if some kid just decided to eat up on it for some reason. Another thing I found while I was over there was a Tengen game, which is Gauntlet. I'd like to collect a lot of these. I'd like to get right many of them. This is probably only my second Tengen game. Also found this. It's the Super Mario Brothers show. The Super Mario Brothers Super Show. This aired in 1989 and put out reruns all the way up until 1994. Now this show was part cartoon with real-life segments before and after each episode. The live segments feature Mario and Luigi with occasional celebrity guests ranging from actors to pro wrestlers. The cartoon portion is the actual adventures of Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Princess Toadstool in the Mushroom Kingdom. The Super Mario Bros. Super Show is something better witnessed than explained. Ultimately, this show put a bad taste in Nintendo's mouth, and let's not talk about the 1993 movie. But that's okay, we're getting a new animated Mario movie soon, so we'll have to check that out. Next up, I also found VHS Double Dragon cartoon. It's $1. I remember it coming on a few times as a kid. I didn't really watch it, but I figured it's gaming related, so I had to pick it up. Why not? Ooh, Mighty Number 9. It was cheap, so I picked it up. I haven't played it yet. I know it gets a really bad rap. Gears of War Ultimate Edition I found. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. These were like, the Vice City was like $1 because I went to a thrift store in the States and everything was 75% off, so I snatched it up. I also found over there GameCube games, a bunch of GameCube games. I have Medal of Honor, Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, another Medal of Honor. This one is the Frontline. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, all GameCube. Cars. Also found 13. Now, I haven't played this game, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. Looks pretty rough. Looks like there's some multiplayer options in there, so that should be fun. 13 I have not played before, but I've got it now and I look forward to it, and it only cost me like $1 at the thrift store. So I consider that a good find. A couple of good finds. Can't go wrong with GameCube games. Also picked up some PlayStation 2 games. Eternal Ring, Enter the Matrix, Demon Stone, and Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey. And as much as I'd like to collect more of these Sega CD games, they're really expensive. This is the Power Rangers, obviously. I'd like to get into more collecting Sega CD games, but they're just so expensive. And they're hard to find in good condition because they're in these jewel case. Sorry, I can't talk. they're in these jewel cases, and every time I get one, they're always cracked or damaged a little bit. This one's got a crack on it there. So it's a shame that most of them are like that, but that's just the way it is. Those things are big, bulky, and fragile, so I'm assuming when you're putting them on your shelf as a kid, you're dropping them, or they're getting crunched up between other games. You leave them on the floor, you step on them. Just fragile pieces of plastic. Another thing that I found over there, I went into Walmart, and of course I found the SNES Classic there, so I grabbed that. It was just sitting behind the case there. But I also saw this right here. It's like, it first caught my eye. It was in the clearance section for like $25, and I was like, well, what is that thing, And it says it comes with a bunch of stuff inside this box, so it's kind of like a loot crate, I guess you could say, but for Super Nintendo. It says it comes with a collectible coin, a cartridge, coasters, a plush toy, controller, heat-changing mug, mini notebook, a console backpack, and an exclusive mystery item. Now we'll start with the box. This is the Super Nintendo designed box. That's what caught my eye. Looks like a Super Nintendo. So also the color scheme caught my eye too, as I was visiting the States and looking around this Walmart. So let's open it up and see what it's got. First thing I see is the bag, but let's check this out first. This is the Nintendo controller plushie. It's life size. I don't know what you would do with it other than set it on your shelf. Maybe use it as like a wrist pillow if you play a lot of PC games. You could rest it like while you're on the mouse and rest your wrist on it, maybe. Here's the pen. This is the exclusive item because it's not listed on the box. So that's what you get. Nice little pen. Here's the coin. Let's open it up and see if the camera will focus on it. So number one, it's on the back side here. It's actually a D-pad. So that's pretty cool. I'll set it up on the shelf, maybe put it in a nice little box and have it open, make it look presentable on the shelf. Now here is, let's dig down here. This is the Game Boy notepad. I probably won't be using it, being a collector, I like to keep things nice. And this is the backpack. Now I'm guessing this was intended for the SNES Mini. I'm assuming that's what they're going for because it's so small. So I'll try putting mine in it later on, see how well it fits. And you could probably put 2 or 3 in there, really. Put your SNES Mini in there, your NES Mini, or your Super Famicom Mini, or your Famicom Mini. But yeah, we'll try that out later. Now here is probably the coolest thing in the box. It's the coasters. They actually have cork backing, so it's like a real coaster. Although I doubt I'll be using them. Let's open it up. Here they are opened. Now we know there's a Super Mario Brothers one, so we'll take that one out. I'm not sure if I like the front of it, like the texture of it. I like the back, it's cork, but I'm not going to use these either way. Of course you got Super Mario 3. Fantastic game. Looks like we have Duck Hunt, Aggravating Game, and Metroid. Nice, but I thought they would include at least a Zelda game in this coaster set, but you can't get everything. And here is the mug. Take the bubble wrap off. So, it's a heat-changing mug. So I imagine once you pour your hot coffee in there, the screen probably like lights up or changes to a different color, like that light green color, or whatever you would see when you turn on a regular Game Boy. Next up, from Japan, my Japan pickups, what I picked up around here. I found these really cool Moogle headphones for Final Fantasy. That's pretty neat. I got some soundtracks actually. I've got the Final Fantasy X2, or 10-2 as you would call it, soundtrack, original soundtrack. I have the Famicom Sound History series, Mario the Music. The album says it's dedicated to all Famicom game music fans right there. I also have the Catherine soundtrack. I thought that was pretty neat. If you haven't played the game Catherine, you definitely should. It's an interesting game. There's the soundtrack for it. I also got, this is actually an American game that I found here, which is Kingdom Hearts, the Dream Drop Distance, the 3D for the Nintendo 3DS. And I was really lucky to find this because it was part of my childhood, and that is River City Ransom. This is the Famicom version, so Japanese version. I didn't recognize it right away, but when I looked at the back of the box and I could see all the scenes of the game, and I was like, wow, that's River City Ransom. So I went ahead and picked that up for like 15 bucks. I also picked up a Sega Genesis game, or Mega Drive over here, which is Phantasy Star 3. Pretty cool. I actually have this one, the English version as well. I also picked up Metal Slug. Pretty neat. This was only $3, so I got the Metal Slug series on PlayStation. And a Sega Saturn game. This is Dragon Ball Z. I'm not sure which Dragon Ball Z game this is. They put out so many over here. So many Dragon Ball Z games, especially for the Super Famicom. You can walk through the aisles in the store here in Japan and see a bunch of different Dragon Ball Z games for the Super Famicom. The PlayStation and Sega Saturn I don't see as often, but they are out there, obviously. This one costs $1. I also picked up some artwork. I can't talk. Artwork books. Blech. This is Odin Sphere. It's a nice front cover. I love this. It's awesome. Even the back looks nice. This is pretty much just the artwork of Odin Sphere. I'll just flip through it real quick. I really like the artwork of this game. I think it did an awesome job. I also picked up Final Fantasy. I saw this. It's got like artwork, and I guess it's all in Japanese, so I guess it's just telling you a play-by-play of what's happening in the games. Alright guys, that's all my pickups for the month. Please like and subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching.